Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Raf, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the Autowatch Ghost Immobiliser. So for those of you who don't know, I'll quickly explain what the Ghost Immobiliser is, but this is by no means a tutorial video. It's just talking about a few points I wanted to talk about for the last couple of months. The Ghost Immobiliser is a canvas immobiliser designed for modern vehicles, and how it works is you enter a code using buttons within your vehicle, and once that correct code sequence has been entered, the Ghost Immobiliser will allow you to start your car and drive your car. The Ghost will generally prevent the car from being started unless a code is entered, or it will generally lock the transmission in park. Buttons and how it immobilises a vehicle is vehicle dependent, but again, we're not going to get too much into that. So the Ghost Immobiliser was launched quite a few years ago, and we're currently on what we call the Ghost 2, so that's the latest version. And I would say it's probably one of the most popular immobilisers installed in the UK currently. Now in today's market, there's generally two types of people. There's those people who don't want to carry an extra fob, they want to just get in their car with their key and start their car and drive off. So for them people, the Ghost Immobiliser is great because you get in, you haven't got to carry any extra fobs, you put a code in, start your car and drive it off. The second type of person is somebody who wants to just get in and drive off and doesn't want that little delay that the Ghost Immobiliser causes because you've got to enter your code before you can drive your car. So them people will generally carry via fob-based system. So again, this is not a comparison video. I'm not comparing the Ghost to any other immobiliser. I just want to talk about a few things that I've wanted to talk about for a while. This video is basically talking about the Ghost Immobiliser and if it is still an effective system at preventing your car from being stolen. You know, if the thief uses one of the common methods of theft currently being used, like key scanning, key theft, key programming, etc. So this video is going to talk about whether I still feel the Ghost Immobiliser is worth you spending money on in 2023. Now recently we're getting a lot of calls from people who are concerned. They're either looking at buying the Ghost Immobiliser or they've already had the Ghost Immobiliser fitted and they've heard on a YouTuber's video or some competitor or somebody in the pub talk about the Ghost Immobiliser and say how vehicles are getting stolen with the Ghost Immobiliser already installed. And you know, this is a genuine worry, but is this true? And should you be worried? You know, maybe you shouldn't consider the Ghost Immobiliser to protect your car, or, you know, worst case scenario, you've already paid the money for the Ghost Immobiliser and you're worried that you've wasted your money and you're probably going to have to get a new system installed. So, you know, let's talk about it. So firstly, before I begin, no immobiliser or security system is 100% effective. Nothing, and this is, you know, fact. Any system that has been retrofitted and installed on a vehicle can be deinstalled and removed, but obviously this takes time. You've got to remove panels, you've got to find components, find where it's been wired in, and basically undo what the installer has already done on the vehicle. So nothing's 100% effective. All you're doing is basically slowing the thief down and, you know, having a damn good chance of them leaving your car. And I shouldn't say it, but, you know, go and take somebody else's. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit that our industry over the last few years has become a little bit overcrowded, with a lot of cowboys jumping on the bandwagon of car security, and this has generally gone on to a huge level over the last couple of years. And one of the systems that I do feel led to this was probably the Ghost Immobiliser, but they're not the only ones. You know, there's a lot of cowboys fitting the Ghost system, and unfortunately this is a sad fact. You know, there's guys that generally fit tyres for a living, they're mechanics, locksmiths, do diagnostics, and they're now fitting the Ghost Immobiliser. They've jumped on the bandwagon and they're calling themselves security specialists. The Ghost system, I would say, in terms of fitting, is probably one of the easiest systems to install in terms of vehicle security. So some guys who had basic, you know, electrical knowledge, they've been charged a fee by a Ghost installer who's shown them a couple of installs, and these guys are like, oh wow, they've got a bit of stock, and they're now self-acclaimed vehicle security specialists. Now there's a lot of guys out there fitting the Autowatch Ghost Immobiliser, and honestly they're throwing them in cars. I've got pictures on my phone, lots of pictures in fact on my phone, of installs where we've had to remove a system, where the owner's either selling the car, can't get hold of whoever fitted it, so they've asked us to remove the system and fit it on their next car, or some customers have actually had problems with the Ghost Immobiliser and they've just got fed up. The original fitter won't get in touch, so they've just contacted us, or Autowatch have referred us, and they've just said, look, get it off my car, I've had enough. And some of these installs, I kid you not, my wife could have done a better job. Now, we had a 2022 Audi RS3, so, you know, a very, very nickable car, very high value car in a couple of weeks ago. And I've actually sent pictures of the install to the powers that be. And let's just say the immobilizer actually fell out. I'd say it's probably one of the worst installs I've ever seen to date. And I've seen a lot of bad installs in my time. And bear in mind, this was a high-risk car, so this guy was having a lot of problems, couldn't get in touch with the original fitter, he was messing him about, fobbing him off. So he approached us, we got it in, and honestly, the install was absolutely shocking. It was really that bad. Now, with what we do in our industry, generally what we do and what we install is hidden and out of sight of the end users. When you're paying money for an immobilizer or an alarm system, you just see the end result and you see the system doing its job. You don't actually see what's being done behind your panels because everything's generally hidden. So you can't tell the difference between a good install and a bad install. You generally have to take, you know, the fitter's words for it. Or do you? And I'll tell you something really funny. So the other day we had a chap come into our shop and he wanted a Ghost Immobiliser system fitted. It was full of Range Rover. So again, high value car, something that's stolen. And he asked me for a price for it, and currently the Ghost Immobiliser, it's June 2023, it retails at $499. So I gave him a price of £499, and it was really funny. And he turned around and he says, "But I can get it for £450." So I was like, "Well, that's absolutely fine. You know, let's not waste each other's time. Go and buy it for £450." But he said, "But I want you to fit it." So, you know, I think we got quite a good reputation, and he travelled down. He said, "But I want you to fit it." So I said, "Yeah, but then it's £499. You know, we can't do it for £450, unfortunately." And what he said next was really funny. He turned around and he said, "But it's only going to take you half an hour." And I was like, "What? You know, what the hell do you mean by that?" And he said, "Oh, the last guy who fitted my Ghost Immobiliser, I had it fitted in half an hour." So, you know, he expected us to do it in half an hour. And this is the thing. This car was a Range Rover. Now, yes, you can fit one in half an hour, but the honest truth is it's going to be thrown in. There's no two ways about it, because you've got to strip the car, you've got to find your harnesses, you've got to program the Ghost, fit the Ghost, hide the Ghost, loom it in with the car's looms. You've got to commission the Ghost, you've got to, register the Ghost, you've got to rebuild the car, and there's just no way you're going to do a decent install in half an hour. It's simply impossible. And, you know, you've got to register the install with TASA as well. You've got to fit some identification stickers, so if your car is stolen and the police ever find it, they can get one of these stickers, scan it, they know who it belongs to, you know, what car it belongs to, etc. So half an hour is just literally impossible. And this is where the problem with the Ghost Immobiliser comes in. If a thief is to find your Ghost Immobiliser after you've had it installed and they were to chop it out, it's game over. Your car's going to start, the Ghost has been bypassed, and it's as simple as that. Now, on that Range Rover we spoke about, a decent install, to a decent level, I would say is going to be a 2.5 to 3 hours job, if done to a good level. So I tell this guy, I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll match this £450. I wasn't going to, but I just said, "I'll match this £450, but I'll do a 30-minute install, and, we'll throw it in, as long as I'm honest with you and you accept that." And, I'm being honest with this guy. And he says, no, I want a proper job. So pay £499, and the moral of the story is he booked in anyway because he wanted it done properly, because obviously we educated this guy and explained to him that it was physically impossible to do a good job in half an hour. We did it, he was very happy, and we've actually done another job on his wife's car since. Now, the first point I'm trying to make in this video is that the system, any system, is only as good as the install. And it's the install which I feel makes the product. Now, if you've had a Ghost system fitted and an installer came out or whatever and he fitted it and it was fitted in half an hour or 45 minutes, then I'm really sorry to say that chances are the install is not going to be very good. It probably been thrown in, regardless of how much this fitter was blowing his own trumpet, because I have people come out tell me how the fitter was telling me how he's the biggest Ghost installer in the country, and if he can't do a car, nobody can do, blah 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 blah. But if it's been fitted in half hour, 45 minutes, I'm pretty confident that install is not going to be very good, and that's just facts. Now, the next point I want to come on to, and this is quite important, is I spoke to the guys at Autowatch recently. We had a chat about this video, and the Autowatch Ghost Immobiliser was launched in this country, in the UK, in 2015, so it's 8 years ago. And currently there's more than 100,000 systems installed on cars and registered. So that's a serious number of cars running the Autowatch Ghost Immobiliser. So if this system had a flaw, that's a lot of cars potentially at target. And this 100,000 is what Autowatch can account for, because when you fit a Ghost Immobiliser system, you're supposed to register the install, issue a TASA certificate, and everything is registered and Autowatch know about it. If the Ghost is removed from a car and transferred onto a new one, you have to do a de-install and reinstall registration as well, so Autowatch can always log it. Problem is some installers aren't registered, they're getting hold of the stock from other dealers, and so Autowatch don't know about them installs. So there's 100,000 that they actually know about. Now, if an approved installer fits your Ghost Immobiliser, that approved installer, to be approved, has to have liability insurance, which has to be checked every year. The install is registered, like I said before. You get a certificate to say you've had a Ghost Immobiliser fitted, because some insurance companies now are offering a discount. You also get a money-back guarantee if you have it fitted from an approved fitting centre. So if your car was stolen and your car was not recovered, then you will get back up to the value you paid for your Ghost Immobiliser. So they are backing up the product, with money. They're putting their money where their mouth is. So you have got this money back guarantee, which a lot of people don't know about. Now, up to now, and it's June 2023, I spoke to Autowatch, they have paid out 14 claims to date. So 14 claims have been paid out by Autowatch, where they have refunded somebody the money that they paid for the Ghost Immobiliser. So that's 14 out of 100,000. Now, do the maths yourself. That's way less than even 0.5% of systems that have been installed. And you've got to bear in mind that some of them cars might have been towed away, on a low loader, or subject to a dodgy claim by the owner. Not that we have these things in the UK, of course, but that's 14 cars out of 100,000 that have been paid out for. And I personally don't think that's that bad at all. I think the stats are in Autowatch's favour. That's not bad. And I just want to say fair play to Autowatch for being so transparent about this. I spoke to Malcolm at Autowatch, and he told me straight away. He said, look, yep, this is how many we've paid out, this is how many are installed. Not a lot of people would speak about vehicles that were stolen when their system was installed. So, I just want to say a massive shout out to Autowatch for that. That's really good. Now, in conclusion, the video is about whether the Ghost Immobiliser is still worth it in 2023, and my answer is 100% yes. However, and this is a big however, if fitted properly, that is the absolute key. It's got to be done right. I can't emphasize how important the install actually is on any security system, not just the Ghost Immobiliser. It either makes the system great, or it's just you throwing your money down the drain, unfortunately. That's the honest way of looking at it. Now, I know some of you are going to be watching this video. This is not an advertising video. This is not a promo video. I'm not saying come to us. Some of you watching this video are going to be in different cities, very far away, probably in different countries. And I totally get that. This is just an educational video to give you my view. Now, all I'm going to say is a little bit of advice for you. When you are looking at having a security system installed on your car, your car is a great investment. You spend a lot of money on your car, it's your pride and joy. Chances are you want to protect it so it doesn't get stolen, because you're proud of it. You spend a lot of money on it and whatever. Just do a little bit of homework before you go and buy an immobilizer or any security system. Read Google reviews for the company you're looking at using. How long have they been trading for? Ask them to give you a couple of options, and this is quite important. Say, can you give me a couple of options for car security on my car? And if you feel like they're only really pushing you towards a Ghost Immobiliser or maybe a tracker, then I'd probably walk away, because these are generally the easier systems to fit. And if that's the only two systems that these guys are pushing towards you, chances are they're what we call the new era of installers, who that's all they can do and that's all they're going to try and sell, and they're not really car security specialists at all. So, if they're trying to push you towards only the Ghost or only a tracker, maybe walk away. Ask the fitter if he's an approved installer, and if you are in doubt, contact Autowatch. Is this guy approved? How long has he been fitted the Ghost Immobiliser for? I will link their number down below, so if anybody needs that, they are pretty helpful. Also, one last thing, on the day of the install, and I know you can't always do this, but if it's a mobile guy and he comes out to your house to fit the system, see how long he actually takes to fit the system. If you see that he just removes one panel, fits a system and puts that panel back on, then the thief only has to remove that one panel, find the immobilizer, remove it, and your Ghost Immobiliser has been bypassed. Make sure at the end of the install, you get a certificate for the install. Make sure you get your owner's manual. You get a security card for the Ghost Immobiliser. And it's just simple measures you can take just to make sure where you've done your part and you know whoever you're using has done a proper job for you. I really hope you guys have found this video useful. It's a little bit different to what we usually do. Please click on the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. And we're trying to grow on YouTube. And if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask down below or ping us an email. I'll put our contact details down below. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm out.